Hello, happy Monday. Happy Monday. I am going to do a card reading for us today. Well, let me just first check that we've actually gone live. A quick look over here. Yeah, let's try refreshing that page. It's quite windy today here in Denmark. That does mean that we get to see some blue sky because it keeps blowing the clouds away. No, I don't want that page. I want that page. Yes. Okay, so I wanted to do a live in this group today to talk about Sarah's Temple. And this morning I have been meditating and working with that activation. So a lot of you have done this activation already, but for those of you who don't know, when we started this group in May, we opened up the energy by activating Sarah's Temple. So Sarah's Temple on the earth is a certain frequency of energy, and we have started by creating that energetically. So it's on the etheric planes. And if you go to the welcome post, there's a link on there where you can do that activation. And I think it's about 40 minutes or so. If you start at around 15 minutes, it'd be really, really wonderful if you could do that, because every person that does it, it opens up the energy, because each person brings their own kind of unique keys and codes to Sarah's Temple. And also it's quite good to listen to it more than once. I found it really good doing it again today. And I've also been working with some crystals here that I attuned while I was doing that activation. I've got some rose quartz, I've got some shungite, some lapis lazuli, some bloodstone, and did I say clear quartz? Got some clear quartz as well. And I've created a few sets of these if anybody else wants one. And I sat in a circle of them and activated the temple around me. And we're going to be doing more of this in this group. I'm going to try and do it once a month so we can work with things that need to come in, basically. There's a lot of stuff happening, so much stuff happening with Sarah. I've been working with her since 2006. And it's really just the last year or two, and especially in the last 6 months, everything's just sped up so fast. So many people are finding their way to Sarah, and it's because it's the time now. It's the time for us to be working at the frequency that she is here to support us in working with. I think that sort of worked out grammatically. So what did I want to do? I wanted to pull a card. Hi, Sergio. It's nice to see you. I didn't know if anybody... I just do these lives quite spontaneously when I get a moment. I never really know when I'm going to pull one out of the bag, so I don't have time to tell anybody. And I know a lot of you watch it on the replay, so it's really nice to get some of you joining live. Okay, so I have that one there. Hi, Belinda. We had a very busy weekend this weekend. Family things, and I was sitting on a roof terrace yesterday in Copenhagen with Thomas's family, celebrating Jason, who's 18. He's the same age as my son, Joshua. He's just finished gymnasium, which is like college. And they really celebrate it here in Denmark. Oh, my word. My son, Josh, I did a live in the Sarah's Sacred Healing Circle group last week for doing healing for to reduce the viral load in COVID, because my son Josh, he's in the UK, he lives there, and he has COVID, but he's doing really, really well, and he's lost his sense of taste and smell. But other than that, he just, he's just really sad that it was his girlfriend's 18th birthday yesterday, and of course he's like isolating in his room, so he's a bit gutted, I think, to have missed that. But other than that, other than the fact that he's had to kind of take the time out of life and be in his room, he's doing really well. So I'm really grateful for that. But if any of you know someone with COVID, you can go to that meditation. I'll have to put it on my YouTube channel as well, because things can be easier to find on there. I'm a bit croaky. I've been a bit croaky this last week. I think it's the pollen. I think it's the pollen's irritating my throat. I've been sucking on a lot of licorice. Right, I'm just going to pull one more card. So let's call Sarah in. Let's really pull her presence in. I'm already sitting in the temple energy because I set it up this morning. And that's still very strong and powerful around. All right then, so just take a deep breath as we come into sacred space together. Oh, feel your feet on the floor. Or feel yourself connected to the earth. We call in the presence of Sarah. And as we bring Sarah in, she grounds and expands our energy. It brings us into a greater level of integration and oneness. I just want you to keep breathing that in for a moment. Okay, so the dragon card that I've pulled, and this is really interesting, it's Alpha Dragon. And this is, so the intent that I pulled the card for is about what we're working with at the moment, and also what we need to work with within Sarah's temple. And this is a card from Dinah Cooper from her dragon pack. Alpha Dragon harnesses the divine masculine power of creation. Destroy the old, visualize your dream, help to manifest a new world. Now, the reason why this is so interesting is, so Sarah is the expression of the sacred marriage. She holds the divine feminine and the divine masculine in oneness. So a lot of us women come to her through the divine feminine or Mary Magdalene. And then after a while, we find that it's our way through to the divine masculine for those of us that need to have a little bit more of that energy and perhaps haven't worked with it so much, or even have like past life issues and forgiveness work to do and trauma work to do and whatever. There's a lot of balancing going on. So I did a kind of introductory class recently to Sarah, and when I pulled a card for what to talk about, it was the card of the sun. I can't remember which pack it was. I tried to find it recently and I couldn't find it, but it was a very bright sun. And I was really struck by how that was the masculine energy that was coming out of this card. And working with Sarah, it's really helped me develop like my own divine masculine energy. And then someone I know wrote to me recently, and she said about Sarah, and she said Sarah's presence was there, I think, and I think that's what she said. And then she got the information that Solaris is another name for Sarah. And I thought, oh, that's so interesting. And I wrote back to her and said, that's so interesting because Solaris is the Latin name, gender neutral name for the sun. And then somebody else I know wrote to me on Sunday and said she'd had this mega experience. We worked a lot with activating Sarah's Violet Flame Temple etherically in Glastonbury, I think last year it was. And this lady, she'd had a really strong, it was a dream. I was going to say a vision, but it was a dream, but it was like a vision. And it had been the divine masculine had been clearing from the old divine masculine had been clearing from the Taurine Glastonbury, and all this new energy had been coming in. And that was how I was feeling. So going back to that introductory talk I said I gave about Sarah, and I'd pulled this sun card, that's exactly what I was feeling. And I wrote it down somewhere. I printed out someone's all this divine feminine stuff. I printed it all out, and I wrote on there big letters, what comes after the divine feminine? And it's not the divine masculine, it's the divine feminine and the divine masculine. It's time for us to go from the divine feminine to the divine feminine and the divine masculine and go forward together. So it's not one thing or the other anymore, because there's a lot of aspects in the divine masculine that we are going to need and that we need right now, but we're actually blocked to a lot of them because we haven't opened up. Or let's not say it like that because that's a bit negative. There's a lot of aspects that we need from the divine masculine, and we're at the place in our path now where it's time for us to embrace that into the feminine. So it's like an embrace of the two together. So, and the other card that I pulled was color. It's about color. So let me just tune in and ask Sarah if there's anything else specific she wants to sort of add to what I've said. Yeah, so she's saying, it doesn't have to be a big, like, shocking thing. It can be quite a gentle process, like just having the intention of like, oh, divine masculine. Oh, perhaps if you haven't thought about it before, just like having that thought just starts to bring things in gently, because of course, this is our souls that lay out the path before us, and then it's we're the ones that sort of decide whether we're going to walk along that soul path or not. But she said it could be quite a gentle thing. And also reminded me, I do have a class, because I often forget like what things I've done because there's quite a lot of them. And I'm always in the present moment working with the now. But we did a divine masculine and divine feminine class, and that is on my website, rachelgoodwin.dk. If you go to the classes and have a scroll through, you will find that, and there are really, really amazing channeled symbols on there to work with, and exercises that I've given you. And those channeled symbols come from Graham Courtney. He's the brother of Edwin Courtney, who is he's an amazing channel, does lots of teaching, and his brother Graham channels these amazing symbols, which are absolutely fantastic. Oh, just sort of, there's a butterfly. Oh, there's a butterfly coming into my balcony. I think it's trying to escape the wind. Oh, it's gone out again. I'll take that as a sign. So what is it about the colour, Sarah? Do we need to know about colour? Yeah, and of course, she said it's a really simple way of like, because we try and make things so complicated. or our minds do, or our minds believe things have to be so complicated for things to work. It doesn't. If you want to bring more divine masculine energy into your life, whatever colors you relate to the divine masculine, bring them in. You know, consciously buy flowers that color, or wear clothes that color. Or because I've been buying a lot of yellow, like roses and things lately, which I don't normally do, and it is like, it's a feeling of, yeah, like, yeah, this is a positive, the divine masculine. You know, I'm sort of starting to love it a lot more and embrace it. Let me just see. And I wanted to, yeah, mention, I'll come back to see if there's any last bits here in a minute. I wanted to mention that on Saturday evening, this weekend, over on the other Sarah group, Sarah's Sacred Healing Circle group, we're doing a free event. We're doing free Sarah healing. Me and some of the other Sarah healers, Louise will be there, are going to be, you know, giving some information about, you know, what is healing with Sarah and the angels, and what is it like, and then we'll be doing a free group healing as well. So that is going to be absolutely lovely. It's always lovely, and it's a new moon on Saturday as well, which is really nice. So come over and join us for that. And if you can't join us, you can catch us on the replay. But there is an event on the group if you want to go and see like the time conversion and everything. Go onto the event, and that's there. And also at the end of July, so Sarah is very involved in these processes that we're going through, these evolutionary processes where our light bodies are changing, where the earth energies are changing. These are all the things she's working, you know, right at sort of on the front lines. And she's done a brain activation for us to help us sort of smoothly, or more smoothly, should I say, go through these evolutionary transformations. And the next one we're going to be working with is the heart, and that's at the end of July. And again, if you want to see that, go onto rachelgoodwin.dk, go along the top of the website, look to the right, it will say Zoom calls, click on there, and that has got my next two Zoom calls on there. I won't start telling you about the other one yet. I'll get to that next week. So let's just see if there's any last bits from Sarah. I'll just do a little channeling to bring through her energy more strongly, because that's always nice, isn't it? I love that alpha dragon energy. Harnesses the divine masculine power of creation. I'll just show you that one again. It feels really, really special, that energy coming in. So I'll go quiet for a moment, and then when I'm talking again, I'll be channeling Sarah. Blessings, I am Sarah. Talking about this possibility of coming into greater oneness in yourself between the divine masculine and the feminine, I would just like to speak the words that this can be a journey of joy, a journey of lightness, a journey of discovery, a journey of magic. Of course, there are often things in the way, blocks and resistances, but that is often what the ego or the mind focuses on and is concerned about. And I would just like to mention that equally, if not more so, the end goal, the result, the outcome is this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful love that grows within oneself, and the joy and the light and the lightness that comes along with that. Just as when someone falls in love, So it is when all parts of the self come together with greater ease that love is lubricated within the soul, shall we say, and brings great joy and gladness. There is a time coming on the earth where there will be a reckoning, as it were, between the divine masculine and the divine feminine. And a reckoning really is just a way of saying there will be a time where it's time for each culture to stand back and look at how it is expressing these qualities. And let it never be forgotten that all parties are responsible and hold responsibilities, different responsibilities, different pieces of the game to play. But all are involved, and each person must find this balance within themselves, heal their own shadows to the greatest extent that they can, so that they can then go on to express in the world the healing and forgiveness, truth telling with integrity and compassion that needs to come through. I am Sarah, and I can help with the qualities needed of strength, of transparency, of standing in one's true power, not to be a victim or an abuser, but to stand in the vulnerability and the honesty of one's own truth and feeling. Feel that power now as you breathe me in, as you breathe in my energy. I am Sarah, and my blessings are upon you each and every moment of the day. Blessed be, blessed be, blessed be. Amen. Lovely. So I suspect that will be the next event to be done in the temple group. Will be some healing work around the divine masculine and the divine feminine, or perhaps healing work's not the right thing. Balancing work is probably a better. And we'll do it within the cauldron of activating Sarah's temple. So like I said before, if you haven't done that activation, go and have a look on the welcome post. It's in the announcements, so you should be able to find it that way if you can't see it otherwise. But lots of blessings. If you're watching this on the replay, please write replay, just so it's really nice to see that you're all there and coming in to watch things. And yes, see you around. Bye, bye, bye.